The UFC 306, UFC Noche, Sphere card, whatever you want to call it, pre-fight press conference just took place. And I'm going to give my reaction to it right now because a star was born. The Mexican Manel Cap has made his name in the UFC, and I'll be looking forward to his fight against Ode Osbourne. I'm, of course, talking about Ronaldo Rodriguez, who we'll get into in a second, but I want to go through the press conference chronologically so I can remember everything that went down, okay? So there were a few things to discuss. I think Ronaldo Rodriguez saved the whole day because it was really going to be one of the most boring press conferences again. We had everyone on the card up on stage. I'm sorry, but we really don't need to hear from Yasmin Uregui while Joshua Van doesn't get a single question the entire time. They had absolutely everyone on the card up on stage. It should have just been the main card and then maybe just put Raul Rosas Jr. levitating above them from like some kind of like harness or some shit like that. Who knows? Either way, let's talk about this chronologically. So O'Malley and Merab only got asked about 2 questions each the entire time. Great job, UFC. Amazing promotion skills. We've seen no promotion for that fight whatsoever other than a couple TikTok trends that they've been doing where they've been hitting an imaginary pinata on a screen, or, you know, the UFC showing them their Facebook pictures from like ages. Like, I don't understand the way UFC is promoting fights. They used to do something where they had a round table. They do it in boxing, sorry. They never used to do this in the UFC. They do it in boxing where they have a round table. Anthony Joshua sits on one side. You know, even Daniel Dubois is on the other side. They don't even have to be the best trash talkers. They'll still do this to try and build up the fight so the fight is interesting. But the UFC never does this. They did it for Till versus Masvidal and then stopped it. Either way, O'Malley's wearing the jacket that Merab took from him. Little bit of a callback there. Not bad. This is what we're breaking down right now. So he wore a jacket that Merab took. Gets asked a question about, do you think Merab's going to strike with you? He said he can knock you out and said that he's going to strike with you and he's not scared to strike with you. And then he said something like, Merab's dumb, but he's not that, well, maybe he is that dumb and I'll knock him out if he does and leave him face first or something like that and put in Merab face first. And then Merab just starts yapping. And this is probably the reason why Joshua Van never got asked a question. Okay? He starts yapping and rambling. Hey, everybody. I'm so happy to be up here on stage. This is long time working for me. I do a lot of training. Lot of hitting pads, lifting weights, go for running and, you know, do squats and calf raises and sometimes even do skull crusher for my tricep extension and, you know, bicep curls sometimes, and maybe sometime we train grappling, and I want to thank everybody. He just starts rambling about everything for about, no joke, 3 minutes straight after the question has been asked. And the crowd, as he's thanking the crowd for support, they start booing because he's been yapping for that long. Okay? Yapping. Non-stop. I was like, when are we going to get to Ortega and Lopez here? We may never get to Ortega and Lopez if Merab gets another question because he just rambled for 3 minutes after getting asked one question. It was like a half an hour press conference, which is actually longer than usual, and it still felt really short because it was half the time Merab. I got an ad break in the middle of what Merab was saying, which the UFC needs to stop doing. I'm not getting YouTube Premium. Stop putting ad breaks in the middle of a press conference, you morons. Either way, I got an ad break and I didn't miss anything. And I got right back like, oh my God, what if they've asked Lopez a question and I've missed it? No, we're still on Merab's answer. That's how long he was yapping for. Either way, Merab getting booed while asking the crowd for support and thanking them for it. I think Aljo and Team Merab were in the crowd doing some Merab chants here and there. O'Malley actually hit him with a next question in the middle of Merab yapping, which seemed to annoy Merab quite a bit. He literally was aware that Merab had been talking for so long, so he just hit him with a, all right, next question, guys, because I don't know if he ever would have stopped. And then he kept going after that. He didn't pick up on the cue. It was like Jared Cannonier at the Adesanya-Cannonier press conference when, Adesanya and Strickland were going back and forth and Pereira was there and everyone was having fun, and then Cannonier would just go off for like 2 minutes, making sure to intricately answer every part of the question. Like, say your line, shut up, and we move on. You know what I mean? We move on. Rosas hit the chihuihuis, of course. Chihuihuis! I can't get it right because my voice is a bit messed up again after doing an impression of Crip Mac yesterday on stream. But Rosas hit the chihuihuis.
At the end of the day, guys, I just want to go out there and perform, and I'm so thankful to be up here and
all of this. And
at the end of the day, everyone, I just want to get the big bonus and Dana White, and
everyone like that. And then Rodriguez steals the show. And he says a slur. And I'm going to describe the slur as the fucking F word. Okay? That's what I'm going to describe. The Manel Cap, classic is what we're going to call this one. The Cap Classic. You know what I mean? The El Clasico du Cap is what we're going to call this one, okay? He whipped it out. O'Day Osborne and him were going back and forth. O'Day was saying, who have you even fought? Like, he's not unranked, but, but he's just got to the UFC. So that's an easy line for O'Day to go for. They shouldn't have been up there. But I'm glad they were. Okay, because him and O'Day Osborne, that's now one of the most hyped fights on the card because there's real beef now in that fight, okay? So O'Day Osborne's like, who have you even fought, to a guy who just made his debut? So, there's no answer to that Ronaldo Rodriguez can give. I hope I called him Ronaldo Rodriguez earlier. I keep calling him Daniel Rodriguez. Either way, he asked him that, and then Ronaldo gets up, hey, Arima! Starts screaming with his funny hat on, and people were calling him Speedy Gonzalez, and he was just yapping, and his mouth is feral, by the way. His mouth and teeth, like this guy, go play with a neighbor's kid. I can't, mum. He might take a chomp out of my fucking arm. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to come home with less fingers than I left this house with. I'm not playing with the neighbor's kid. The neighbor's kid is Ronaldo Rodriguez. Like, this guy's chompy, okay? Teeth, mouth, massive, really, vicious. I knew he was going to charge up something when he was sitting there because you could see the energy of oh, is this guy talking bad? Oh, I can go hard. And believe me, I've had it verified by a few people that speak Spanish. This guy dropped the Manel Cap special on multiple occasions on O'Day Osborne. They were screaming at each other about, who have you fought? And I guess he was screaming something about, what are you going to do about it? You ain't going to do nothing. I'm going to knock you out. Typical stuff that he was saying. Very aggressively. Stands up. Daniel Zellhuber was sitting there like John Jones's wife after she's overcooked dinner. You know what I mean? Are you sure we can't, cut around the burnt bits? You know what I mean? Just sitting there knowing a punch is coming our way. And Ronaldo Rodriguez drops the slur a bunch of times over and over. New favorite fighter on the roster here we're talking about, guys. I've never been, I don't know. If you weren't a Ronaldo Rodriguez fan before, now you are. Okay? We're looking forward to this one now. Drops it multiple times. Zellhuber's sitting there like this because he understands what Ronaldo Rodriguez is saying. Dana doesn't. Otherwise, he definitely would have probably stepped in there because he's just chucking it. He's chucking it at O'Day Osborne. Yeah. Ronaldo Rodriguez saved the day. Made the show. The only person worth watching there was him. There were some other moments, though. After Rosas hit the Chihuihuis, Aori Chwileng threatened to kill him, which was interesting. There was some little hidden gems that people may have forgotten about. I thought, oh, here we go. Aori Chwileng's gonna say, he's happy to be here. Can't wait for Saturday night. All of this, but no, he just he said this is gonna be the first time he dies in the octagon. So he's just threatening Raul Rosas Jr.'s life. So there's some heat behind that one as well now. Okay, so that was a little bit of something. And then Rodriguez is up and going, shut the fuck up, over and over again, screaming at O'Day Osborne, who's like, holy shit, this guy's crazy. So O'Day Osborne stands up and starts saying, who have you ever fought, buddy? And then O'Day Osborne even maybe understood what he was being called and called him I'm going to say it in a Jamaican accent, so maybe it can get through YouTube copyright. Yeah, batty boy, he called him a batty boy, okay? Which is another word for, It's a kind of way of saying what Rodriguez was saying to him, let's just say. Okay? So that they were going back and forth, and even Ronaldo Rodriguez said, I'm Mexican, we've worked for everything we ever got, and here he is on the main card while being unranked. Don't have a single ranked fighter outside of Moreno and Yair. Not one in the top 15, but here you are at your very own themed UFC card. Fighters weren't working very hard for that one, boys. Either way, O'Day Osborne's like, I agree with you. You don't have blue eyes. I agree with you. You have worked hard to get what you got. And all of this, and I don't think he said the blue eye thing, but you know what I mean. So they're like seeing each other's side a bit, and then Rodriguez doesn't understand a word he's saying, so he just starts screaming, shut the fuck up, at the top of his lungs at O'Day Osborne. Dangerous stuff. But I'm now invested in O'Day Osborne versus Ronaldo Rodriguez. That needs to be said. Okay? That needs to be said now. So that's an hour hyped up fight. A star can potentially be made. Either Osborne gets when trash talking goes wrong moment, you know what I mean? And manages to steal the show with a KO. And I've been like, why is O'Day Osborne on the card? Why is this guy on the card? And Ronaldo Rodriguez has a massive following online as well. Like, he's got like hundreds of thousands of followers. Like, he had a couple viral TikToks of moments that he posted. And so if O'Day wins, it's huge. If Ronaldo Rodriguez wins, we got the next prospect in the flyweight division. Hopefully he doesn't cross paths with Charles Johnson and get beaten by that boring fuck. So hopefully that don't happen. Other than Aori Twilling threatening to kill Rose. Oh my God. W. Dana. Edgar Shayrez gets a fucking question. Norma Dumont was looking great, by the way. You know what I mean? She's looking amazing. As per usual. Even from the front angle this time. She was looking good. You know, he didn't even need the right angle. Still looking good. But either way, Edgar Shayrez gets a question. Joshua Van doesn't. So they ask Edgar Shayrez. Joshua Van doesn't get a question. And Ortega and Lopez were yapping about nothing, I think. I can't even recall what they were talking about. Something about Saturday night, we put on a show and it's going to be a war and our styles make for a war, I think is what Ortega was saying. They're just boring stuff, NPC stuff. And I couldn't really know what Diego Lopez was saying. But either way, Edgar Shayrez asks Dana, you know, you said you were Mexicans and you really value us, so how about an increased bonus for the Mexicans? When is the pandering going to stop? Okay? Dana shut it down. I'm glad he did. God, these guys with their hands out, brother. You know what I mean? So annoying to listen to that. Like, God, you've got a whole fucking card made about you, and you're up here on this stage with a record of 11-5. You have a negative record in the UFC. You're barely fucking in the roster. One fight away from being cut from the fucking sport, and you're here asking for more bonuses on top of everything that they're doing for the Mexican fighters already. That's not enough for you. God. I fucking hate the pander. They actually made me anti-Mexican for a second, but Ronaldo Rodriguez cleared that right up. I'm pro-Mexican again. You know what I mean? Ronaldo Rodriguez genuinely saved me from a dangerous spiral of thoughts. Okay? Because I was getting annoyed at how much pandering's been going on, because they don't have a single fighter on the roster over 155. Grasso's the champ. I get it. Her last fight, the 10-8 in the 5th, was on the worst scorecard rounds of all time. So that's BS. But hey, we get the big Sphere Noche card now, so good for that. And then they don't have a single ranked contender other than Moreno and Yair, and neither of them are on the card. So it's just pandering charity beyond belief. Like, I don't understand it at all. But, you know, Dana's, you know, I think, honestly, I know it's crazy. I think Dana and the UFC are prepping for a rapidly changing demographic of America. So they're like, they're bracing for the new America, guys. They're bracing for the new US. Okay? So they're just getting ahead of the curve here. Okay? But that's interesting. Right there. So that's all good. They did that. Some good mariachi bands playing. I don't know if it was mariachi, but is that type of music. That type of thing. Then Merab starts yapping again after Dana shuts down the bonuses, which I thought was great. They don't deserve everything. Merab says O'Malley got lucky after Sean brought up KO and Aljo. Oh yeah, Merab says, I have knockout too, brother. And then O'Malley's like, knocked out Aljo, didn't I? Knocked out Aljo. Did him pretty bad, and then Merab's still calling it an early stoppage, and he got lucky. And O'Malley's like, man, I guess I just keep getting lucky, huh? Every fight, it seems that people think I keep getting lucky. I guess I just get lucky every single fight. Not the Yan one. Actually, you did, because the ref didn't call out any of the cheating. Tell you that much. So maybe you were kind of lucky there. And the scorecards. Either way. But he's like, man, I keep getting lucky, which was good. It's whenever he brings up the Aljo thing, Merab gets so heated. And you know he's annoyed by it as well. So that's big for O'Malley. I wouldn't be surprised if during the face-off in the octagon, O'Malley just sort of leans in and goes, I knocked out Aljo. And then as they back up, Merab's like, you know, and then O'Malley could try catch him. Like, Merab's got nothing going on behind his eyes, guys. I know it's not just because he doesn't speak like, Paulo Costa's a distinguished non-English speaker. You can tell. Moicano. You know what I mean? These guys, like many non-English first fighters learn English, and you can tell, okay, there's some personality. There's something going on. Merab is just up there. I do train hard, eat good food, and there's nothing going on in his head. All good. Wholesome, I guess. Not capable of wrongdoing. That's a good thing, maybe. And Joshua Van got no questions. And I've written here, Norma looked thick when they did the face-offs. So, yeah, that was cool. O'Malley not too towering above the 5'6" Merab when he's at 5'11". Starting to doubt that one, O'Malley. A little bit more and more. Looking a bit more like 5'9", if we're being real. Okay? But that's all good. Definitely got the height advantage. And again, Ronaldo Rodriguez, a star is born. And I'm going to be paying attention to Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Ode Osborne. 100%. And if Ode wins, he takes the energy and can maybe go on a bit of a redemption run himself. You know what I mean? Because he has lost a few times. I don't know. If it was English, maybe you could, you know, Ode was saying, like, who have you beaten? Who have you beaten? I'd have been like, well, I can't name who I've beaten because they're unranked. I can name who you lost to. You know what I mean? Start listing this name, that name, this name. Who knows, though? It was good. Ronaldo Rodriguez, Speedy Gonzalez. I can't do high-pitched things. It's so annoying. But yeah, good for him. We'll see what happens. Stole the show. Just lack of promotion, though. It annoys me with these things. Like, we get this, and then it's done as soon as it gets heated. And then that's all the promotion we get in terms of building hype. Is just, why don't we have O'Malley on one side and Merab on the other of a table with John Anik in the middle, and we just get them talking about what they're going to do to each other, and, you know what I mean? Like, have a bit of trash talk face to face. So annoying that they don't do that anymore, or at all, and never have. Like, they do not promote the fights. They promote the UFC, and then it's like, oh, here's the fighters for 20 minutes. Ask them one question each. See you later. Goodbye. Toodle pip.